Well, Originem, they're able to recover in quite a big way. From 4-11 down, they find their footing and they take DeftFox's map pick away from them. Train up next on the docket. And with how things are looking right now, I think it's you're feeling a little bit more positive for the Originem side.
Nice. Yeah, I would. You'd have to think it was going to be a little bit more of a comeback. Hopefully this sticks up. I think a lot of the problems that looked for me like mostly just a slow start for Originem. I don't think that is something moving forward into the second map, Train, which is their pick. This should be a map where they just come out swinging, right? They seem warmed up. Everyone looked better in that second half. They seemed way more on the same page. And now I think it's all about just kind of delivering that dominance on Train the way that you did in the second half of Overpass and for the most part in overtime as well.
Yeah, and I think as well, like the only player I was a little bit worried about was someone like Petra on that AWP, because for me, like I always associate her with someone who's able to just turn the tide of battle with that big green gun, and she was a little bit quiet over on the CT side of Overpass. Well, then they moved away from using the AWP for the T side. They didn't pick one up once, and the aggressive plays were looking great here on Train. I think the fact that Petra then did find her footing in OT can be like a bit of a blessing in disguise. Like it sucks that the game went to OT in the first place. And you weren't able to just close that comeback out in regulation, I guess. But it was great for her to kind of warm back up into the swing of things. But this pistol round is fast, and it's ferocious, and it's Victoria commandeering it right now from inside of this site. She gets two before getting dealt with. Keisu taps down another. However, the trades are coming in. It's a bit of an awkward one now as it falls into a 2-on-3.
Seems like they have an idea of where some of the players are. Zaz knows Keisu is in T-mid. She knows she's got a one-on-one in both directions, but man, what a terrible spot to be stuck in. And you could see forcefully moving her way out, fighting the battle, and look at the way Keisu has positioned herself. This is actually pretty smart. She's just backed away, but that creates an opening, and Zaz knows it. The inner bomb site is wide open. One player in T-mid, one player back towards Ivy. She's going to get a plant and plenty of time to select a post-plant position for the 1 versus 2. There's a kit at the outer bomb train that can easily pick up, but no utility for DeftFox.
Yeah, what can Zaz do here? She's holding over towards the back of Grey, just keeping an eye on the run-up. Bombs planted out in the open for her. They tap it. She crosses into the site. There was the chance to deal with her before it becomes a problem, but they follow up afterwards. Keisu gets the kill. Defuse from Maria. And DeftFox, they're going to find the pistol round here to begin this CT side. Victoria landing some great openers over towards outside. And Keisu as well even went on like a bit of an aggressive mission in through Olaf to find herself behind enemy lines and continued to put up those numbers on that B side rotate in the retake. And so I would imagine
that Zaz is really wishing that she could have found a USP on the ground for that 1 versus 2. If she'd had the range of a USP, I think she would have felt way more comfortable in that fight selection. SMG should chew up most, if not all, of these players out of ammunition, switching to the pistol, and Fatal is going to go for the ace. She's only going to get 4, but that is a well done round. Originem, no chance for them to come back and wreak havoc in this round number 2.
Yeah, it's just a question of when will Mimi go down. Not so much if, as she gets swarmed onto. There's the conversion. But once again, Originem, they're never like fighting off more than they can chew in these investments. They just wait to get the rifles out, and I like that. 5 AKs in play. No warp just yet. Money was there to get it glass cannon, but they've decided against that. And, justifiably so. As we said, we didn't see them pick one up once over on the T side of Overpass. So I imagine it's going to be the same thing here, perhaps, at least in the early stages of this game, knowing that you don't have an AWP to go up against on the other side of things as well. And it's this fast A play once more, at least from Petra. She gets very deep. Going for a kind of Hunter-esque push down here behind the sandwich smoke. Isn't able to find much from it, and now as these smokes fade, it's gone from being, you have someone aggressive in the front line who can maybe disrupt this hold to having Petra maybe fed to the wolves or the foxes, perhaps.
That's not bad. It's not bad at all, Harry. Some of your finest work. Giuliano gonna lead the way. They've spotted one at the back of the bomb train. Petra now pushed up. And they're getting all these kills to crack open the bomb site. Maria, the last one left with an M4, doing what she can. And she is indeed going to find a double kill. Somehow she's held on. Keisu also, and Giuliano. She's got to be wondering how she's in this situation. This 1 versus 3, now 2.
Oh, that's always a little bit awkward. They see each other going up on the ladders. Gonna duck back into Pop. She's desperately looking to isolate this one fight inside of the site. Can't get too tunnel vision though, because there's the peek from Fatal from behind the bomb trade. DeftFox in the rifle on rifle round. They come in swinging and they pick it up. So a 3-0 lead, and already some kind of similar tones to Overpass with a strong CT side start from the DeftFox side.
Oh man, what a great performance from Maria. I don't know how they came back into this. That felt like all the critical kills early on in that attack in that round went the way of Originem, and for whatever reason, they just could not hold on to it. What a great turn of events. Victoria with that off flick over isn't going to land any damage. It's upgraded pistols and armor to try and get the bomb planted, try and get a couple kills, but with 2 players in ladder room, there's definitely going to be a fast flank out of this defense.
Yeah, as long as they keep, because they did have Zaz keeping an eye on exactly that, right? This fast pop rotation, but she's moved away. I feel like if there's a pistol keeping a watchful eye on this position, maybe you can get away with a little bit and, you know, take some of these rotations away. But now that that's not the case, that's freed up these 2 Pop players to just come and wreak havoc in the back line. Fatal doesn't actually hold on to the site, and with these smokes down, the AWP can't have any say in the matter. Is Krasi going back, and she will get 1, but Elizabeth is there to trade.
Listen, roll the dice. So many things can happen here. Zaz with a good kill close up. Oh, she's got the M4. Didn't spot that player, but still hasn't gone down, and she comes back for more. 1 versus 2. Victoria is certainly going to lose this off. They know where she is. And what a great end from Giuliano. Phenomenal round from Originem. I'm just astounded they're able to make that work with the upgraded pistols. Really, really good stuff. Entering in, and Giuliano sealing the deal. 1-3. So a chance for them to get started. A little bit of nade damage on Demimi. But so far, a relatively struggled start, a labored start for Originem, but that might be just what they needed, just what the doctor ordered to get them back underway.
Yeah, I like the way that they deal with the AWP and M4 hold, right? They just throw like a wall of smokes at B, and that effectively leaves like Fatal in a 1v5 inside of the site. This round, they get into B again, only this time Fatal doesn't stick around to give up this gunfight and turn this back into a 4-on-4. Instead, she's repositioned, and she shuts down Krasi. From back here towards Spool. She's looking for a little bit more. However, creeping up close by the oil train, there is Zaz. She finds herself in the backline. Gonna have to deliver a lot, and actually only good for 1. The Deagle of Victoria's come alive, and this leaves Petra all alone. She's got a bit of a range advantage over some of these players. Oh, there's the no-scope. Needs even more, but a missed shot, and that's all it takes. Defuse comes on in, and once again, it's another one of these like partial investment, I mean, I say partial, force buys rather, to find success. An immediate response from DeftFox as they'll put that 4th up.
Okay, everything I said about that being a good starting point, just erase it from your memory. I take it all back. What? That's nicely done from DeftFox. And another round. And this is what I talked about with Originem. As well as they played on Overpass in that second half to make the comeback happen, there were a couple heartbreak rounds in the post plants for the most part. Here again, another one's delivered. They're losing some pretty critical rounds in both of these maps so far. That one right there could have been a chance for them to get started and some momentum, some kind of a streak, and instead they passed it right back to DeftFox.
Oh, and they try another one of these fast A plays, but they haven't really been working to the advantage of Originem at all yet. Every time they're just caught by these like very, very long angles being held from DeftFox. No one's going aggressive. You know, you don't have any players pushed up towards the trains. They're just holding, and you know, that kind of leaves Originem pushing through their own smokes and with these flashes going over, but it doesn't feel like it's finding the results that they're expecting at all. And now this is where the question kind of becomes, right? Like T-side train, it can feel like after a while you're just running into a brick wall when the ideas you have aren't working. I always feel like train's one of the harder maps to try and
It can, yeah.
You know, like kind of pug it out on almost. That's maybe the wrong word, but
no, it's nearly impossible to pug this map in any way. It certainly is one of those maps where it just starts to feel so restrictive if your initial plan does not work. And the other, ooh, that's some good damage on the Keisu. Surely we're not going to get another turn around with just pistols and armor. Elizabeth, a nice kill, and Keisu, that should be most of the danger swatted aside. Although Petra stepped up to the plate, she's going to go down. Yeah, the real tough part is you win a force by round as Originem, and then you lose one to DeftFox, and you give them an op, you give them an AK, and you give them money to buy utility. And then your next round after that is like a fast-paced outer hit with all 5 players coming out of team mid and ladder room. And that's where they have the utility to stop that. They have the AWP. They have the range to to go on top of that utility. And I mean, you just get slaughtered. So now all of a sudden the economy for DeftFox is pretty damn solid.
Yeah, nice pick from Giuliano playing that out of spawn. I'm curious if that's going to find its way back into the hands of Petra. You can see that they're joining up together over here towards main. She's still holding on to it for now, and there is someone working their way up close in the form of Elizabeth. But that's where Petra's position is key, right? She was playing anti-flash, so that if anyone did try and go aggressive with a flashbang, they would have got dealt with. There's no flash for Elizabeth, and she goes in dry. She's going to learn to regret that one. Keisu will respond and leaves us back in a 3-on-3. Even though they've got Petra deep within A, the rest of the gang are outside of B. This bomb is back in T main. This is running the risk of being like too much of a messy round, because now you've got to go back and get this bomb. And this just leaves a series of 1v1s across the map. Zaz gets one. Now they might be able to deal with it. However, this A site is still open thanks to Petra's position.
Yeah, but I mean, not only Petra, but Zaz as well. They're just going to end this, like, the bomb be damned. What a great play from Zaz to take up all that space at the inner bomb site. And they found their second round. They picked up an op as well. And actually, I mean, it's just fatal with any legit amount of cash behind her. So she's going to drop some guns over. That's a great pick from Giuliano. Just good finds all across the board. But this is the round-winning play from Zaz.
All right, Jason, so we got the pistols out again. And
why not?
Yeah, I'm hoping that this time things can make a little more sense. And with how Originem are kind of poising themselves early on, they're not going for any of these like Hail Mary rushes into a pistol stack. They've slowed it right down. And I'm hoping we just kind of see them wait it out in the beginning. You know, wait and see if there's any aggression from DeftFox. Wait and see if you can kind of cheese a kill away and then play around that. Looks like they are going to start to progress Giuliano out through main.
I'm fine with the chaos.
Something.
I'm fine with them just rushing out, seeing what they find. Ooh, a shot to the face. A follow-up from Victoria. And so it begins.
Yeah, only this time, right? They kind of had like a fail-safe. They had this B play locked in the chamber, and it's come through nice and quickly. However, blindsided by the aggression. Jason, it's happening again, man.
Yeah, fail-safe, you say, huh?
Yeah. What happens when the fail-safe fails? What do you do then? Fatal in with another. Petra and Mimi left standing, but Mimi's been whittled down. Krasny falling inside of the site. Petra trying to come in from ramp to help her teammate out, but a missed shot. However, with no one falling from Originem, this is still an okay place to be. You know there's not the utility. You can try and play around this bomb. Mimi falls, and the round is over. It's DeftFox picking it up with the pistols again.
Well, add that one to the list. That's yeah, that's a round you just should not be losing. Yeah, I don't even know necessarily how this happens.
It's a tricky one, right?
I know. Let me watch this. I mean, obviously this SMG does some work. That kill, and obviously this duel against Krasny as well. I don't know. It felt like to me like Originem was almost they secured the bomb site so quickly and efficiently that they were just like taking the next step, the utility into the choke points, and just getting caught off guard. But man, that's a tough one to deal with if you're Originem. You've had your chances to get going on this T side, and twice now you've dropped the ball. So this is going to start getting frustrated. If they can't at least win this round, then it starts to get really stressful environment for your T side.
Also, you kind of think about like how DeftFox are playing the CT side back on Overpass and how it felt like, they were a little bit scared at times, maybe giving too much respect to Originem. I like that we're seeing, starting to go a bit aggressive in towards Pop and Main and, deep smoking Main just to lock that angle off from the Originem T side, not really giving them too many options. Because that's the thing, at this point in the round, you've deep smoked Main. You're assuming that there's no one there. You had players checking it and now they've fallen back. And, you had players in Pop as well. So it's like they're either Ivy or they're going B again. And it is this B play, and they were poised with the majority of players towards this side of the map. However, Zaz getting that opener, and now the smoke's going down, locking Victoria out on this orb. It's done a good job of setting up Originem in the post plot, but there's one from the AWP.
Yeah, just don't peek before the post plant. You have the post plant set up, you have a 5-on-3, there's no reason for anyone to go down, and that's another play that's a bit dicey, but Mimi on the flank. Victoria is gonna get the follow-up shot, a 2-on-2, and surely not again. There's plenty of time left in this bomb timer. Giuliano inside the smoke, over towards sidewalk. She misses the spray, she's gonna go down. It's all Keisu. Up in hand, Krasi waiting. Very little time left. There's a smoke on the bomb, and that actually might have negated her vision of Krasi. A good win, but it's so costly. From a 5-on-3 to a 1-on-1, man, that's a dicey victory. I will say, Harry, you got to admire what Zaz is doing at this B bomb site, opening things up. That's a great kill to find. The courage to go out that upper ramp like that with no utility, no smokes up or anything like that. We saw her previously open up that B bomb site as well. She's still doing some work over there. It's the post plants that are getting a bit that are not what I like to see, if I'm honest.
Yeah, and it makes like the big entries that Zaz is getting feel like that much more. I'd be that much more upset if I'm in that position. You get the team into the site, you deliver that 5-on-3, and then it almost slips away. Now, in this round, it's a bit mismatched from the DeftFox side. They still have these orbs in play, and they're putting them to good use. Fatal goes aggressive as well, and in doing so, they've dropped the bomb up in the halls. Giuliano and Petra left in a 2-on-4, and Keisu has just missed the timing there. However, goes back in for more and shuts them both down. They were looking to try and deal with that one fight while they had it, and that there up against the AWP at such a range is a decision they are going to come to regret.
Oh no, they get pulled right into the stack. Even after Zaz goes down and they see the 2 players on the ramp, they go for more. It's that 3rd player, Fatal with the M4, that's just a disaster at the upper ramp. What a great sequence for DeftFox. Again, a spectacular first half. 8-3 right now for DeftFox. A chance to climb up many more. Again, pistols and armor for the Originem attack. This is good stuff from DeftFox. I don't know. This whole series, unfortunately, even if it turns out Originem wins this, for me, it's kind of like coming into this, I would have thought these girls were the overwhelming favorites, and I think that gets shaken up a little bit, with this kind of a look at how they're playing.
Yeah, 100%. Especially what we've seen from some of the other squads thus far as well, right? Like, I think, man, I'll hold this thought for now because there's a bomb plant inside of A. These pistols have been able to get nice and close. Victoria, she seems very proficient at just dodging bullets. I feel like a lot of the time she really overstays her welcome somehow, some way. Giuliano does mop up one with the tech, but she's not able to retrieve that AWP that was dropped. Fatal has this position locked in and is looking for this trade. She's thirsting for the blood. And Giuliano forced out into the open, goes down. Maria looking for the trade, but just get brought down low.
Ooh, good read.
To deter her though, and that's the kill. The AWP's retrieved, and AKs as well can be picked up by Maria. There's also an AWP down in Ivy, so I'm imagining they're trying to get them both, and they will. 9 on the board for DeftFox, and now the buy coming back in for Originem. What I was going to say, Jason, is earlier on today, we had the Vodafone Giants playing in this, and what impressed me most is they seemed like a very tactically sound team, and, at times it felt like maybe they were lacking the firepower in some of the situations, but the ideas they had and, the way that they were playing off of each other was really good. And I think the competition's seeming pretty high right now, so I don't know if just the kind of bravado and confidence that we're seeing from Originem is going to be enough to lock in these victories at this event.
No, I mean, for me, the surprising thing is all that experience and all that time playing together. I think the post plants have been very, very sketchy, as I've said a number of times. So, I mean, if those things clean up, I feel like Originem would have a much better half, and obviously, maybe even would have been able to close the overpass a little bit earlier. But still, we'll have to see how this plays out. For the moment, Fatal inside the smoke, again having a good first half. 13 and 6 for her. Victoria's under pressure, and she's going to back away. The shoulder peaks, finally baiting out a shot, but she's in safety, so it doesn't matter too much.
Oh, that's a spot. Oh, dear. The accidental weapon switch from Petra. We've all been there. We've all done it. But Mimi's here, and she ain't switching weapon anytime soon. Double kill from her. Onto the triple. Almost back in with the flick into connector, but she gets brought down very, very low. 7 points of health. The orb swinging out, and Casey is going to solidify it. Really nice try from Mimi to make something of that round. She seems very, very comfortable and and good in those situations, right, where like everything has just gone to chaos and you need someone to step up. She was there to deliver, but sadly just didn't have the rest of the squad behind her to kind of follow through, and that falls apart, especially with the double con rotate. She just wasn't ready. She was very, very tunnel visioned onto the player who'd already slipped by.
Man, I mean, DeftFox is really lucky to get away with that round. There's a lack of communication. Those players pushed up towards E-Box either didn't get the communications or it was never passed on to them. That Ivy was wide open. They're very lucky that that entire defense didn't just get decimated. Good find from Maria onto Zaz, and Casey now backing away to Sandwich as well. She can go on top of the train all she wants. Petra flicks up straight to the head. Down to 2 HP, and that doesn't bode well. A 3-on-3 scenario, but two players on Originem are very, very lit. They're lit.
It's lit, man. Fatal, going aggressive. And let's see, I mean, she's snuck up into a very, very forward position here. And oh, she's just caught the timing past the players that are aggressing in. Petra did just check down to the bottom left, but not deep enough. Fatal gets one by surprise, but that's where that kind of accidental sneak pass becomes a bit of a double-edged sword. She didn't know they were there, and they didn't know she was there. So now we're into this 2-on-2, and Maria just got a lot of damage off onto Mimi, the only player who had any HP for Originem in this round. So now it's the wounded that you're relying on. Petra and Mimi in this 2-on-2. Maria flashed in, not ready for Petra in the bomb site. Victoria's AWP now. Ooh. Looking for this player on the cross, but it's missed the timing. Goes in. Knows that Petra was in the bomb train, but doesn't follow up with the kill. It's 4 on the board for Originem as they just about try and bail themselves out at the end of this first half of play.
Yeah, so close. Had to be, what, like less than 15 HP combined on those final two players? That's pretty wild. And even against the AWP in the 1 versus, or the 2 versus 1, your HP doesn't even matter. So couldn't have gone better down the stretch for Originem. That's a pretty tough round for them to grind through. Final round of the first half as Originem tries to get up to 5. And I mean, I say it should be doable, but we've seen these rounds turn on their head a couple of times. 2 SMGs, 2 Deagles, and a FAMAS on Fatal.
Ah, Krasi was hoping that was going to be the opener, right? The thing that turns this round into a 5-on-4, but instead it's a deep smoke and you get locked out of main. Now they're going to wait, they're going to try and re-aggress in. And DeftFox, they haven't, you know, once they've taken main, they haven't like stuck around and tried to hold on to this position. All they're doing is they force Originem out. They make them waste all this extra time and utility and just having to clear this angle again. But it has given it up, and now that allows for the main play to come on through. And actually, on the back of getting this information, they've stacked 3 players over at B, and that there could be the wrong decision to make if this A play keeps up for the T side.
Oh, good kill from Petra. That's the opening that they needed. Outer train yard, and she's actually pretty much clear out everything. They know there's one in ladder room. 3 players, in fact, going to be bottlenecked in that position for DeftFox, so that's really unfortunate for them. 2 flankers from the inner bumps that have gone to meet up, but as long as Elizabeth is here, there's always going to be eyes on this location. So the flank really doesn't even matter a whole lot at this point if you're DeftFox. There's the flashbang that comes out. Elizabeth trying to make it through. I don't know how she's gotten that kill, but Krasi's here for only 1. Giuliano's still alive, and so is Mimi. And they both missed opportunities to find kills. Finally, Mimi delivers 1 more, but they don't realize the bomb's not being stuck, and Giuliano now finds herself in a 1 versus 1, and this should be easy for her to win. Victoria is off the bomb, and she's got all the information necessary. 5th round coming in hot for Originem. That is well played from Giuliano. Either way, a good first half for DeftFox. They lead by 5. We're going to head to a halftime break. When we come back, we'll see if they can close it out and take us to a 3rd map. Stay tuned.
We will
once again, it's DeftFox off to a blinding start, but Originem, you know, 4 rounds was enough for them to come back on Overpass. Is 5 going to be enough here on Train as they now move in to their CT side? Petra and Giuliano both going to be donning the utility here. Giuliano with a whole belt of it over here at this B side of the map. That could prove to be key if this B play comes through from DeftFox.
Oh, good kill from Zaz. Oh, that's the bomb. They actually have to overextend to get that. They're way exposed. They do find it, but Zaz is still alive. 3 players left for DeftFox. Another kill for Zaz as she steps up, and the bomb can't be planted now. 4 kills as she's on for the ace. She spins to the lower ramp. This should be doable. Akrasi's going to rip it out of her hands. What a great pistol for Zaz, and the comeback is on immediately.
Yeah, it's always a bit scary when the bomb is the first one into the site, right? Because that is the like the immediate info gain and like the immediate back foot for DeftFox. Because suddenly, a lot of your attention goes towards getting back that package, and they just can't. You know, Zaz does a stellar job of holding down this B site. Just going to be the eco here in the second round. The lack of the bomb plant hurts a little bit considering they were able to get into the site, and Krasi has a chance for a bit of a mowdown here, helped out by Petra. She's not going down anytime soon. K-Suit, last one standing in a 1v5. Now this would be one for the record books, Jason, but I don't know, man. Like, we've seen some unexpected victories today. I don't know if this one's going to get past the keeper.
Build it up. Give it some of the magical flair. Let's get her underway.
Oh, well, here we go, Jason. 1v5. We know what K-Su can do with the Deagle. And it's looking like a godlike play from... Oh, goodness. There's so many bodies on the other side.
They're all lined up, Harry.
Trapped. This isn't happening, is it? This is the worst. There she goes around the corner. And it's all said and done. Originem, they get that conversion. They go 7-10 up. But now we got the investment for DeftFox.
Yeah. Here's what's a little bit scary, Harry. They lost that first map Overpass. They had that 11-4 lead going into their CT side. Now they have a 10-5 lead, but they're going into their own T side, which, as you mentioned in the first half, can be really restrictive. Really, I mean, you can feel like nothing works very quickly on this map. So, I mean, we'll see if Originem gets out to a very nice start here on Train, their CT side. I think DeftFox might just be done. I think they're going to shut down pretty quickly. So they have to be very cautious how they approach this. And it might be time already to just call out some of the bread and butter strategies. If you're DeftFox, just to get some positive vibes going on this T side. What a great boost. What a great flank coming in for Mimi.
She's going to start to pick up the pace now as this A play comes in. And now all that matters is these 2 players that were here are able to hold the line. And they are doing that. Oh, Giuliano almost a third, but not quite. Does get bested. Doesn't matter. It's getting laid to rest. Originem 8 on the board. And suddenly, you know, what was looking like a pretty one-sided first half falls into almost even odds, right? There's no money for DeftFox. There should be a 9th round on the horizon from the side of Originem. And this is where things already get scary. You know, you think about the lead. You literally just said this, right? You think about the lead that was held by DeftFox back on Overpass, and that wasn't enough. Well, this game is already a hell of a lot closer, and one that can very, very quickly feel like all the odds are just stacked against you in just a matter of rounds.
And you could see the confusion in DeftFox in that round. They really were expecting to encounter some kind of a resistance before they got to the bomb train. And I mean, Originem was just playing it so passively because the strength of that defense was on the boosted up flank from Mimi. That right there might be a little bit crazy from Giuliano. I'm not gonna lie to you. Might have been a bit much. I'm fine with it. But you know, peeking in T-mid like that at the minute and 20-second mark is very aggressive.
Yeah, it's one of those things, you're fine with it now, but you know, a couple of kills time, maybe that play could have made all the difference.
I just like to see the insanity. I like to watch the world burn. Like there's no reason why I should actually like that play, except for the fact that why not? Let's go crazy. Let's get wild.
Right now, I'm more worried about going Krasi. She's down here towards Ivy. She's holding on. Yeah, it's a little joke there, and she's gonna get bested actually right away. Mimi trying to hold this down from heaven, but up through the ladder is K-Su. A 3-on-2 ensues, and Petra with this tapping away on the USP. There was no head armor on on Keisu or Maria for that matter, so that USP does prove deadly, but the bomb's gotten out of there. And a bomb plant in this round, you know, getting it down to a 1v2 like this, finding a bomb plant and a chance to do even more damage in the post plant, this is already a good round for DeftFox, and it can only get better.
I'll go for it. Go. Aw. All right. Nice shot from Petra. Yeah, that's way too costly. That's a crazy round. Now, thankfully, Originem had a good enough start to the CT side, a good enough opening here, winning 3 rounds straight, leading into this 4th. They have so much money built up that the losses they can sustain, but it does at least make things easier for DeftFox. At the moment, if you're DeftFox, like your number one priority is reset the economy in this half. And obviously to do that at this point, you're gonna have to string like 2, maybe 3 rounds together to fully just destroy and decimate the defensive economy. But that's the only way you're gonna have an easier time getting rounds on the board to actually come into closing out this map. So at least that 3 kills in a bomb plant is a decent enough start.
DeftFox have just really, I was going to say slowed it down, and they get delivered that kill, and now I imagine they might just slow it down even slower. Right? You sit with this advantage, one that you didn't really have to work for, you know, you just get a chance shot through the smoke, and now you're just going to wait. You're going to wait and see if Originem get curious anywhere else on the map. Zaz, who is holding very, very aggressively down towards the bottom of B ramp, has taken a very, very passive hold over at B, and Originem, they've kind of shown that, you know, that their response to losing Krasi early on isn't going to be to go aggressive. It's going to be to bunker down to try and reclaim these kills as the push comes in. That's a kill from Petra, and back into this 4-on-4 as she keeps this pretty close position over here towards main and sandwich.
Good flashbang out towards Ivy. No one there to take advantage of it, but still wreaking havoc with that op, and no progress being made from anyone from DeftFox as Maria goes down next and Elizabeth falls last. 10-10. And this time 4 players survive, so Originem, no sweat. This is good stuff with the op. If this is going to come alive, the rest of this half should be relatively nice little cakewalk for Originem. That op is just, I mean, if your utility is not point against an op that's on fire on train, you're in for some trouble. And now utility is built up. Zaz can play all the delay games she wants. Even if that utility is not perfectly timed or placed, it's still going to be effective. A spray down for a double kill, and no one has come through that smoke at the lower ramp. Zaz is a 3rd. And there's Petra with the op. No damage even dealt so far by DeftFox.
Oh, I mean, that's just brutal. And the fact that, we've seen Originem, they're just so happy to leave Zaz alone at this B bomb site. And we keep seeing why. You know, in the pistol round, she picked up 4. She was on for the ace. And in this round here and now, she does pretty much the same thing. She locks it down brilliantly, doesn't give any room over. She has it all under control. She buys time for the rotation to come through, and from then on in, it all comes up in favor of Originem.
All in favor of Originem, yes, indeed. Man, they're having quite a blistering half. I believe we have a small tech issue going on, Harry. I don't know if you're getting this one as well. Just want to.
I am indeed.
Okay, cool. So what's happened essentially is our program feed has disconnected. Therefore, we must.
This is a fun game. That we can hypothesize like what could be happening. You know, that's the. Oh, we're back. I can hear noises, but I don't see anything yet. But I can tell you that people are running around. I
am indeed blind, but I can hear. And connecting to the Go TV now. Almost made it.
I can hear Molotovs, I can hear smokes, Jason. It's probably exciting. And oh, there's a little kill if I ever did hear one, or maybe not.
No, it's not a kill. I'm in. I've got the Go TV. We'll take it away. 4 players for DeftFox lined up towards the inner bomb set. Again, they want to challenge Zaz just one more time, because why the hell not? She's got a smoke in hand, takes a lot of damage. Smoke goes out, and they're not going to press the issue. They're happy to just sit and wait for the moment. Did you know the smoke observer bug was still a thing, where you can get stuck on smokes? I didn't. I'm finding that out right now.
No, I did not. And also, I'm not even in the GOTV. I'm trying to find it, but Casey, you might just have to take this one for me, my friend.
Okay, I don't know if I can do that. Here we go. Stuck in another smoke again, one more time. Mimi's got a couple more kills as the attack readjusts to the outer bomb site, simply to get absolutely slaughtered. Krasny with the last kill. It's now 12-10 for Originem. Oh, we're back. We've got the whole feed. We've got everything.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
You know, it was cool, like, listening to just the sound effects and, like, hearing you kind of tell me what was going on. But I'm much more about, you know, the seeing, being, believing.
Getting to see for yourself, yeah.
Yeah. And I can see clearly now that the lag has gone, Jason. We're all good. We're back into this. Petra's got the orb. Victoria's got hers over on the other side. They've got to break the mold. Zaz, she's trying to break something, all right.
What?
It's going to be Victoria out of the round. The headshot through the smoke. My goodness, that orb gets deleted. It doesn't even get to play into round 23.
Man, talk about how mad would you be if you're Victoria? At least Maria is able to trade it back through the smoke onto Krasny, but small consolation prize if you're Victoria. You're probably punching a desk after that one. Giuliano close up towards T-mid, and she's going to go in without any indication. No pop flash from a teammate, no deep smoke or Molotov. This is a lot of information to be gained. Fatal is looking for a push, but this time, Giuliano is going to keep her wits about her and not push all the way around the corner.
Yeah, it's slow and it's quiet right now, but Giuliano, she's not about that life. She's gone aggressive in main. This is pretty huge. This can allow for an early rotation over towards this B bomb site. However, one thing to bear in mind, I was going to say, with the presence of Maria still here in Ivy, there was a chance to double back through pop into this A bomb site. However, you now kind of know that's not the case. With her getting trapped in, this utility doesn't do much to sell a fake by any stretch of the imagination. And so the bulk of players are still here at this B bomb site, ready to lock it down. Petra does get bested in the head-to-head, and a bomb plant found. Here's the flank from Giuliano, but surely they're ready for it. That should have been the kill. Keisu getting away and being allowed to hide behind the box. It's a little bit messy over here. And also, while this is going on, look at Mimi's little mission up on the rafters. Keisu is ready for it. Somehow, some way, it's 11 on the board for DeftFox.
I cannot believe Originem lost that round. I feel like all the rounds, or most of the rounds we've seen where one team has just an overwhelming advantage, just slip away. Again, like, Originem knew everything that was coming. They had two defenders at the inner bomb site. They had a third defender rotating away from Ivy towards the inner bomb site. And they had Giuliano on the fast flank, who even spots one player out towards Ivy. So you know it's going to be a fake. They had everything set up properly to shut that down. And unfortunately, it just never actually worked. It didn't actually just pan out that way. So good job from DeftFox. However, that's the first round on the board for them in the second half. And this is not panning out well. Petra able to get the opening kill and bait out a shot from Victoria.
Yeah, if I'm Originem, I'm not peeking that Ivy smoke anymore, though, because in a lot of these rounds, it feels like they've been found through it, and so they do just take a more passive lie back inside of these bomb sites. Now, this double AWP setup as well has allowed for Giuliano to play inside of this B site, but like over towards connector, so she's available for a fast rotation either way. Zaz is holding on to upper. DeftFox, they've got this bomb outside of A, so I'm imagining this is looking to be the A play later in the round after a B fake, but there's always a chance that that changes. There's still time to play around with. However, they're not being given anything. So it is just going to be this B fake with an emphasis on A. And the fact that Originem have the advantage, they hear the nades now, thanks to Mimi and main, they know this is the A play. They haven't fallen for this fake whatsoever. And they tear down DeftFox at the first sign of danger. It's 13 on the board, and a bit of a rough round for DeftFox. You know, you saw the idea, you saw the plan, but it was the aggression into main that made all the difference. Hearing that utility coming on in, and, you know, not having to rotate because you're in a 5-on-4, all of that makes the difference in the long run.
Yeah, Originem just seems very, very comfortable on this map in the second half. Like, I mean, this feels like it's over. This feels like it's just a matter of time for Originem. Really, just 3 more rounds left. I don't see how DeftFox is going to make this comeback. You can see them comfortable with aggression. You can see Originem comfortable with playing passive. with the ops as well. And Petra able to stand on top of the train and gather all the information. Hasn't seen anyone come out just yet. Just noticed the first, flicks over to the second, and Mimi's behind that smoke, and a great positioning for Petra is going to net her 3 kills in the round with ease. 14-11 for the defense.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it seems to be one of these situations where it's just like the tenure and experience on Originem is just helping them out, right? They're very, very comfortable with a long game. You know, they're not getting flustered by the scoreline, like being kind of against them in the end of that first half. And it seems like they kind of all rally around the comeback as they start to get back into the swing of things. And the same just can't be said for DeftFox, right? It feels like once it starts to slip away from them, it turns a bit chaotic, and it feels like they kind of struggle to come up with these solutions to the problems that Originem are causing. On top of that, Petra, you mentioned that in that last round, she's having a great game, which after Overpass, I am so relieved to see, right? Like, Train is a map that a strong AWPing presence makes all the difference on, and my word, she is having an incredible game right now.
I was going to say, I didn't really notice a whole lot out of her on Overpass, so it has been cool to see. Like, the AWPing on Train has been spectacular. 27 kills so far as well. Obviously been a great factor to have going in your direction for the defense. Flashbangs are out. Elizabeth has made a great amount of map control, but can't land any of the shots or the kill. And now the rest of Originem turns around and they're ready to hold on to this choke point. Giuliano with the 1D after the op shot, taking her time, adding a couple more onto it. And Maria just backs away with low health. Giuliano's not going to let her get away. Quad kill in the round, and a 15-11 lead.
Well, Jason, you said it felt like it was a matter of time. And you might be right in that assumption. You know, you've seen a lot of CS. You can kind of tell how the story's looking, and you might have been bang on here. There's one last hurrah for DeftFox. If they don't get it over the line, this series is all said and done, with Originem walking away with a victory under their belt. And that's after a hell of a comeback back on Overpass. A similar picture here on Train, but nowhere near as one-sided, right? They were able to get back into the swing of things very, very quickly on this CT side, and they've been in pole position. Really, it just felt like ever since getting into this second half, I've never been very, very worried, right? DeftFox only managing one round thus far over on the T side.
Ben, all of them. Mostly, as you mentioned, powered by Petra's AWPing has been great. Giuliano as well, putting in a pretty solid performance. Fatal is leg down to 16 HP. And this seems like a kind of just a slow default spread, and everyone seems to have freedom, and everyone's getting punished for it. K-Su trying to walk down lower ramp is taken down to 32 HP. Fatal, as we mentioned already, down to 16 health. So nothing really gained for DeftFox despite all the loss of HP.
And it just feels like Originem have such a good read on what's going on, right? Like there's a temporary silence at A. Petra was about to rotate off of B, and she's now rededicated. And even more so than that, they've actually pulled Giuliano round as well. So they're just ahead of the curve in this one. They know that it was an A fake with a late B play, and this is what happens. You run into the maws of the beast, and you can only expect one thing. It's 2 kills for Giuliano, wrap round for Mimi, and this round is looking like it's all said and done. With it, the game would follow. K-Su left alone, 1v3. Up on the rafters is Zaz, and she's going to lock it in. It's the 2-0 victory for Originem. They come out a little bit slow to start this series, but by the end of it, they are roaring their way to a victory. And you can see there, the crowd goes wild as well.
Absolutely, Ham. Hands in the air, on their feet. It's a beautiful sight. Yeah, that's a nice 2-0 victory, as you mentioned. Much more labored, much bigger test than I actually thought Originem was going to have to go through to actually take those maps. So, awesome to see. I don't know. I guess my expectations were just set very high. I kind of expected dominance, I'm not going to lie to you. So that was a little bit shocking, but as I get over that, I mean, some cool stuff. I really liked watching Fatal play. I thought Maria had a good game on Overpass as well. There was some cool stuff out of the DeftFox side, too, that made that a difficult victory.
Yeah, and you know, we've seen that already. Like a few series today, we've seen like some kind of like innovative and very like tactically sound stuff, and then the responses have been great, right? And I think the way that like these two teams were able to play off of each other was actually pretty fun, even if it did take like, Zaz and Co a little bit longer to kind of figure it out. Once they figured it out and once the pieces of the puzzle were there, it all just came alive, it felt like. And I'm hoping we can see that continue throughout the rest of this tournament. I don't want to just see them wiping out the rest of these teams now that they've got that confidence built up, Jason. And I imagine you're kind of the same. But yeah, that's all from me at least. I know you're still sticking around.
I'm sticking around, baby.
Counter-Strike to come. So stick around because you don't want to miss it. The analyst desk coming up after a break, so be there for it.
Fire away, boy, like in your attitude. Fire away, boy, imagining me and you. Fire away, boy, I can tell that you wanna. Fire away, boy, come show me what you got. Heart is falling overhead, what you doing to me? Something more than regular. Can you knock me off my feet? Something kind of magical. If you took hold of me, nothing like I ever known. Can you knock me off my feet? If you could read my mind.
We will stand our ground.
Welcome back to the DreamHack Showdown Summer 2020, and on screen right now, if you missed it, you can see a few little tidbits from our first upper bracket semi-final between Team Originem and their opponents, who they unfortunately slayed, but showed so much promise despite that Team DeftFox from Russia. Sapphire, was that a classic Originem start? The overconfidence maybe getting the better of them?
To be honest, this time, I don't know if it was overconfidence as much as just, they're kind of unprepared, unwarmed up. DeftFox did get a full series in before Originem got to play. So it was kind of just a slow start. But, in the end, the experienced team just did just enough on the first half to be able to pull it out in the second half.
Fearless, why were Originem pushing so much on their CT side? Any ideas? Because I'm completely stumped. I don't know. Especially if we take a look at that overpass, I was a little bit confused. On CT, they were pushing, as you say, a whole lot, and eventually it got kind of like the better of them. Eventually they were down a few rounds, and they were just so eager to try and make a round happen. And it just seemed like it wasn't really that case. An early pick didn't really happen. They lost a person early round, and it kind of like became a slump, and luckily they did manage to pull through into overtime, but it kind of got a little bit scary in the beginning of that match. I'm wondering though, the things that we liked that we saw from DeftFox, for example, being able to actually counter Originem's very superior knowledge of utility, sometimes just running through it, sometimes sidestepping it, and actually making the most of those situations. Sapphire, do you think that actually DeftFox, what? Yeah, okay, they lost this series, but they're still a team that could be a contender for that title.
Absolutely. They should be proud of themselves for this result. I mean, they did not play with fear. Mrs. K or Maria, whatever we're going to call her, she played just as confident as anyone on that server, as if she's been doing this many times. So I think they did great. There's some fun things I saw on round 29 of Overpass, where I think it was Elizabeth just toying with Juliana, distracting half the team while the rest of her teammates retook the bomb site. I think there's some fun little things to take away from that, and they're definitely still going to be a contender in this event.
And I'm so glad we made it to overtime, because Petra finally gets to buy an AWP on that CT side. And we got to see a sweet, sweet flick on long, which had me cheering in my room on my own. Basically, Twitch chat, I know what it's like to be you. But we're going to go to the drawing board with Veerless now, because you're going to talk to us about that amazing T side from Team Originem, because they seemed like a different team going into that second half of Overpass. Yeah, so I mean, in this round number 11, they do the same thing over and over again. We see actually Petra and Giuliano going into that connector early on, and they throw a smoke, but it kind of gets countered by a Molotov. And the thing that they try to do, they try to boost over their own thrown smoke, and that is actually kind of smart, because Petra, in that case, she didn't make any noise, so only Giuliano was being heard. And with the Molotov there, that's usually a sign of like, okay, you are getting out of that position. But eventually they tried to boost, didn't work out, as Giuliano was being tagged by the Molotov, a sound cue being made, so they had to back off. They could definitely use that smoke. And from that moment onwards, they kind of took the whole mid area a little bit more passively. Petra then moving all the way back towards long to help Mimi out, because Mimi had kind of lost that A long control. And so much presence still there on mid. We have a smoke down in Con, and down on Party, we have still Molotov. So they kind of, once you lose that control at some part of the map, you want to regain it somewhere else. And that's exactly what they do. They have Mimi standing on anti-flash and Petra towards the tree, and they get that lurker out straight away. And eventually, the retake can happen. They have that information. And even though the round got pretty close, because it was almost an ace coming from Elizabeth, but the team were definitely worried. And I think that was a great recovery. They tried to, go once again with that aggressive push. But once it doesn't work, you have to adapt.
Well, something that really did work was Zaz solo holding B on the CT side of Train, a 4K in that pistol. Sapphire, why is Zaz queen of that bomb site?
I mean, she has incredible game sense. That's really it. She's done this 1,000 times before, and so she's experienced in those scenarios. She knows exactly what to expect. She knows her angles. It really comes down to experience, and really no one's better than her.
Well, I'm hoping that we'll get a chance to talk to her later on this weekend. We're currently waiting to see if we can grab a chat with the in-game leader, Giuliano, against someone hugely effective on both of these maps. Giuliano was getting it done, and she's here, ladies and gentlemen, the in-game leader of
Hello.
Team Originem. Giuliano, first of all, congratulations. But I've got to ask, what was happening at the start of that series on Overpass?
Oh man, I don't know. We got very late into the game actually. There was a lot of miscommunication. generally just failing a lot of things that we've been practicing for a very long time. So there was like, we were just off, I think, in the start, and they played good too. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, they had the patience all the rounds, but I felt like we were also very off. Yeah.
Giuliano, you're obviously a LAN player, but what was it like preparing for this event, knowing it would be online? Did you do anything different this time?
I mean, what we knew were that probably the pace of the game and the peaks and everything is so different compared to LAN, and I guess playing online, people have more balls, I would say. Like there's less team play of teams, what I see from many. But yeah, we just had to make the best out of it, I guess. Yeah.
So I had a question, like, of course you guys now just played and you're playing once again tomorrow. How are you guys going into that? Like, are you going to do something differently in comparison to today? How are you going to make sure that, these types of close matches don't happen again?
Yeah, I mean, I think, so what I said right after the game was that the first overpass match was that, well, actually in the end, what matters is not the score, but how we managed to pick that up. Because generally, T-side is very hard, and we managed to make such a comeback. It shows like that we have it in us, that we're still showing how good we are no matter how we start, which is basically what we're going to take from today until tomorrow, to not let the confidence go down, that no matter what, we can always win. And I guess we brought that a bit more to the second map, and we're going to do it even more tomorrow.
Giuliano, talking about the bigger pictures, I stupidly failed to ask Petra this earlier. Recently, you did rebrand to Team Originem. You're going it alone. This is your pet project, and that seems to be a deliberate decision. I'm sure there are plenty of orgs that would love to have you. So talk to me about this new direction and what you're trying to achieve.
Well, basically, we hit rough times, right? Close to signing contracts and all that. And then, everything happened around the world. And we decided that we need to make the best out of it. And we're actually working on a project with Team Originem. So no matter if we join another org, we're still going to run that project as something for our players. And we have a lot of plans for it. So it's going to be fun. So no matter what, it's something we've been working on for a long time. Yeah.
I want to ask a little bit more though. You're working on the project, even if you sign with a different org. How would that work? Is this not necessarily a team you're talking about, but more of a sort of overall esports brand?
Exactly. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. So we just decided that to bring the brand up and make it known we're representing it for now.
Okay, very, very interesting. Well, you represented it very, very well in that series, and congratulations on making it straight into the upper bracket final. We will see you and the girls tomorrow. Giuliano, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Oh, that was nice. I'm not used to players saying have a nice day. Thank you very much, Giuliano. Well, ladies, we have got to take a short break, because when we come back, we're going into our second upper bracket final, semi-final, I should say, because it's going to be Giants Gaming. They're going to be facing Galaxy Racer Esports.